Hello everyone, I Jhalak Patel, Assistant Professor at LG Institute of Engineering and Technology in the Department of Electronics and Communication. Welcomes you to the session of wireless communication. Today I am going to discuss about Unit 3, that is Mobile Radio Propagation, Small Scale Fading and Diversity, with topic Delay Spread and Fair's Upper Bound. So let's start the session. In the last lecture, we have discussed about the Doppler shift effect with its frequency example. So let's take another example with Doppler shift. Here, consider this problem statement. What is the Doppler frequency for 1850 MHz if vehicle is moving at 60 km per hour? So here you have to find out the Doppler frequency. So first consider that the carrier frequency that is given in the problem statement is 1850 MHz. In the earlier example we have seen that what will occur when the user is moving towards transmitter and when the user is moving away from transmitter. Even we also see the case when angle is perpendicular to the moving of user. So here we have to find out the Doppler frequency for 1850 MHz carrier and with velocity 60 km per hour. So first of all, let's note down the given data, that is Fc is equal to 1850 MHz. Next is with 1850 MHz we can find out the wavelength. We all know that the free space speed, it is denoted by c and it is equal to f into lambda. So we can easily find out the lambda. Here we want to find out this wavelength because in the equation of Doppler shift frequency we need wavelength. That's why here we are going to find out the wavelength. So first of all, this c means free space speed, it is 3 into 10 raised to 8 meter per second and fc is 1850. Here megahertz means 10 raised to 6, 1850 into 10 raised to 6 hertz. So let's put the values. It will becomes like this, 3 into 10 raised to 8 upon 8050 into 10 raised to 6. If you divide these terms, you can get the answer 0.162 meter. This is the wavelength of this carrier. Now with FD original equation of Doppler shift effect is V upon lambda cos theta. Now we already discussed that if in the question the value of angle is not mentioned, then you should always take it as 0 degree, because the cos 0 gives the maximum value. Because of that, always Doppler velocity is in the maximum direction. That's why we take over here original equation is Fd is equal to V upon lambda cos theta. So instead of theta we put cos 0. So cos 0 is 1 and the remaining term is V upon lambda. Now we have the value of velocity and wavelength. Now in this example, value of wavelength is in terms of meter and over here the velocity is in the terms of kilometer per hour. So we can convert any one of this. So it looks like this, 60 upon 0.162. You can also write down it as 60 into 10 raised to 3 in terms of meter. So the answer is 370.37 Hertz. So this is the Doppler frequency. This question is asked in a GTU for 3 marks. Next is about delay spread. Now for delay spread, consider this figure. In this figure there is various propagation is mentioned. Here first this building, over here there one transmitter is placed. Here consider that at every building there may be a receiver, or you can also consider that this vehicle which is moving towards here has the receiving antenna like this. So from this transmitter to receiver we have to consider the different paths. So if from transmitter to receiver there is a direct path is available, then it is called as a line of sight distance. But In that case, in case of line of sight distance, means if there is a clear path between transmitter to receiver, then you can easily apply the free space propagation model that we discussed earlier. According to that free space propagation model, you can easily calculate the received power between this transmitter and receiver, and applying the equation of Friis transmission formula, you can find out the value of the transmitting gain or receiving gain, or even the received power or transmitted power. But over here that is not the case, because over here you can see that in between this transmitter and receiving antenna, here there is some obstacle present, like here these two buildings are present, and because of these two buildings the scattering will occur at different points. Now scattering is what? The signal is faded into different direction, or we can say that the signal is scattered in all direction, and because of that the signal strength will be reduced. So in that case of delay spread, you have to consider some power delay profile. So here the dispersion of transmission signal is a result of multipath propagation. Here you can see that it can have the many ways. It can go like this, or maybe from this to this, from D1 to D2, or maybe from D3 to this dk and tau k. So here there is more reflector surfaces are also there. Here this dark black color is a reflecting surface or reflectors, so it can have any of this one path, and because of that dispersion of this there may be a multipath propagation, means there are more than one path available between transmission to reception. So this is the delay spread. Now to discuss more about this delay spread, let's consider one power delay profile. Here in the figure you can see that is power versus time graph is there, and you can see that power is in a dB. Please note that the power is in a dB, and here the delay time which is noted by tau. Here you can see that from here the term noted is tau A. Tau A is called as a first arrival delay. So from this starting where the actual delay profile starts, that initial time is called as a first arrival delay time. Means to start the propagation, first which time is needed is called as a first arrival time. So after that first arrival time, you can see that here easily the signal strength will be reducing. Means at an initial period it has the highest signal strength, and as time occur, as we go from tau e to tau m, you can see that there are more fluctuations will occur and signal strength also reduces. Here the various terms are like this. Tau A is called as a first arrival delay, means the start time. Mean access delay, we also see these definitions in the next slides. Tau E, which is called as mean access delay this time. Tau D, root mean square, means RMS delay time. Tau M means maximum access delay. We can calculate the tau M, tau D and tau E with the help of the first arrival delay time. So let's see each one of them. Terms related to delay profile. First is first arrival delay. I have already discussed that it is mainly the delay profile start time denoted by tau A. Mean access delay is average delay with respect to first arrival delay, which is denoted by tau E. It has the equation tau E is equal to integration tau minus tau A, original time period which taken by the system, tau minus tau A means first arrival time period of power delay profile, into p tau d tau means the component of power at the time of tau. Means you have to consider here that at this tau e time what will be this power. So you have to integrate the total power in between the starting time to this tau e. That's why it is the summation of the total power period. means you have to take the integration from the starting point to tau e. Now let's see one another term, which is RMS delay, means root mean square delay. It is called as a standard deviation. We can also calculate this RMS delay with the various Gaussian profile, in which if you know the mean and variance value, then you can calculate the RMS delay. We also have its equation like tau d is equal to tau minus tau e or minus tau a square into power tau into d tau raised to 1 by 2. So if you subtract the mean access delay and first arrival delay from your original time period, then it should be equal to the RMS delay. We will see one example related to this mean access delay and RMS delay, so that the things will become the more clear. If you still have any doubt with this equation, you can ask me on my WhatsApp number with mean access delay and RMS delay. So let's move forward. Far's upper bound. So in this case, first consider that this figure, here again there is one transmitting antenna over this building and one receiving antenna over this car. So Far's upper bound, the major application of Far's upper bound is it is used to calculate the worst case delay, and for this a system parameter should be known. Now what are the system parameters that should be known for Far's upper bound? So if you remember the case of phase transmission formula in the earlier lecture, then it is you can know that it is used to find out the received power. So here the delay signal have the effect on system performance. Because of the delaying of signal, the system performance will degrade, and if the system performance degrade, then received power will also become more and more negative, or we can say that received power is become less at every time interval. So here for this PR minimum means minimum required receive power should be equal to the threshold power. Now let's put the equation for LOS. LOS means clear line of sight. Here we consider this transmitter to receiving path. If there is a direct path, then we can consider the line of sight propagation, and that is given by PR upon PT. Here please note that this equation is actually the phase transmission formula equation, like here you can see that this PR is equal to, if you put this PR as subject, then it is PR into PT. PT will go this side. So PR is equal to PT GTGR lambda square upon 4 pi square d square. So this is actually the phase transmission formula, but over here we require this PR minimum, and that's why we put this equation like this. Now from the previous equation we can arrange the equation and find out the value of D. Now let's see one another time that if we want to find out the D max, then if we put the D max as subject, then it is D max square is equal to GTGR lambda square upon 4 pi as it is into PT upon PR. So this is how you can find out the maximum time period, maximum distance between the transmitter and receiver that we should prove. So here D max is equal to PT GTGR lambda upon 4 pi square raised to 1 by 2 upon PR minimum. You can also write down the PR instead of PR minimum, P threshold level. So now if we want to find out the total propagation delay, because this case is used to find out the worst case delay. Now we have the value of this D maximum, then we can easily find out the propagation delay. So it is D upon C, means distance upon velocity. Velocity is equal to distance upon time. That's why time is equal to distance upon velocity. We already have the values of this D max, so let's put it over here. But For this equation, here we consider that the GT and GR is equal to 1, means the antennas are of unity gain antenna, means GT and GR is equal to 1. So if we put over here GT and GR is equal to 1, then equation will be like this: PT into lambda upon 4 pi square upon PR minimum raised to 1 by 2 upon C. It will be like this: PT into lambda upon 4 pi square upon PR minimum upon F lambda. Here please note that this F lambda is nothing but C, because C is equal to what? F frequency into wavelength. So instead of this C, we write down F into lambda. So this is how one can easily calculate the tau max with Fayer's upper bound. So this question is most important from this unit. It can be asked in a 5 marks or 7 marks. So basic function of this Fayer's bound or objective of this Fayer's bound is to calculate the worst case delay. Now if we rearrange this term, then please note this equation. We have to rearrange this, then PT upon PR we can write out. So it can be written like this: PT upon PR raised to 1 by 2 into lambda upon 4 pi into 1 upon F lambda. This is nothing but the total time period tau. So for tau we can write down 1 upon 4 pi F as it is. This lambda and lambda will be cancel out, so it is under root. This is 1 upon 2 means raised to 1 by 2 means square root. So tau maximum means maximum delay. Maximum delay is called worst case delay. So tau max is equal to 1 upon 4 pi F under root PT upon PR minimum seconds. So this is how one can calculate this tau maximum. So in the next lecture we will see the one example related to it, and then we discuss about the various delay profiles with mean excess delay, how to calculate mean excess delay or the first arrival time interval. Okay, so if you have any query up to this, you can WhatsApp me on my number. Thank you for watching.